My name is Bwrett, and I'll be the host of this murder mystery game, Murder a la Carte, a series by Bepuzzled. About a week ago, we streamed this strange sort of game story, and we were pretty amused while doing so. It was actually kind of cool. Negative Hippie and I did go over the game and its details before, and I'll just summarize that. This mystery is titled Unhappy Hour, set in a side street Chicago bar on a miserable summer night. Everyone was given a character, and we have to get to the bottom of the mystery and figure out which of us is the murderer. This is done in a very straightforward way. We have 3 rounds to sort through enough information and find the solution, each of which begins with a playing of a cassette tape provided with the game. After the tape, each character reads from the character guides and also interrogate each other. The goal of the game is for each player to be unsuspected of being the perpetrator when it comes time for us to learn the truth behind the crime, and also find that truth behind the crime. And everything we need for an evening of whodunit is inside this box. The cassette does decently enough in setting the mood.
All of you knew the victim, Dexter Doyle. He owned the joint, named it after himself. Dex's Place. Some of you worked for him, some of you were his friends, and the rest just dropped in to drink his booze now and again. No matter. If you were here in the bar with him tonight, when he was gunned down, you are a suspect.
The guy on the tape was Frank Taylor, an ex-cop who was going to help us out. As I previously mentioned, the cassette is only a section of the game. After it plays is when we read our parts and get a little bit closer. A little bit closer to the answer. A little bit closer. Kind of secrets. When interrogating, when the players are asking each other questions, they do have like predetermined things to say to it. So that means that there's an important detail that the characters don't want people to know. If someone asks about it and they kind of force their hand, they have to say what that is. Each character is given a piece of physical evidence called a clue, and they're also told when to present that to the group. Now each one of these things is fucking filled with dirt. The character guides tells the players how they should present themselves to other people, and also something they should not reveal. And that's called the truth, which is what we're after. The player guides have a lot inside. It tells them exactly who their character should be, or kind of. But we, the players, have to put our own twist on it. And that's where we come in, and that's why it's kind of neat. Oh man, it could be any of them. Any of us. I'll introduce the 6 people who were in the bar when the gun went off. Skye is Ginny Tonic, a writer of novels, and she's known for being a regular at Dex's, and by that I mean she's usually intoxicated. You are Ginny Tonic, a writer. You worked in your family's training academy for actors in Los Angeles, California until 4 years ago. At that time, both your parents were lost at sea while on a yachting holiday. Shortly after the accident, you sold the academy and used your inheritance to follow your dream of becoming a writer. You have written 1 romance novel, but due to bad luck, you never got it published. You moved to Chicago 6 months ago to write a mystery novel set in this city. You have been coming to Dexter's Place for the past few months. It is a good spot to take a break from your daily writing routine. You were Dexter's girlfriend for a short time. You broke up with him a few weeks ago when you caught him with another woman. Dexter was a charmer, but not very trustworthy. Phil Muggs is a bartender. Phil Muggs is the guy who attends the bar. Negative Hippie will be Phil. Phil Muggs. You are Phil Muggs. You have been the bartender at Dexter's Place for the past 1.5 years. The job suits your lifestyle. You tried a 9-to-5 job once, wearing a tie and carrying a briefcase. It was nuts. Now when you leave the bar at the end of your shift, you don't have to take your work home with you. Unless, of course, it is some cute chick you picked up. That is one of the fringe benefits. Beats the hell out of having a key to an executive washroom. Hey. Dexter was okay to work for, but he had his problems. You could have run this place a lot better and made more money. But that's all water under the bridge now. Willie Crash is played by Ramsel Timble. Willie is a pilot. Willie Crash is as follows. You are Willie Crash, a senior pilot for Transglobe Airlines. Transglobe is a major international air carrier with hundreds of jets flying all over the world. You have been a commercial pilot for 10 years. This is a great job, flying to different places, sunny in the Bahamas one day, skiing in the Alps the next. And the women, ooh la la. You are a bachelor living in a luxury condo along the Gold Coast, a short distance from here. You have been coming to this bar for several years. It is a great place to unwind before a long flight.
Good drink, such a great place, and the atmosphere, women. I won't be tied down though.
You became good friends with Dexter after he bought the bar 2 years ago. The 2 of you have gone fishing and to ball games once in a while. You are going to miss him.
Me and Dexter, great friends. I can't believe this.
You can't believe you shot him?
Hey! Not.
There's also David Delgato, a cocktail waiter. Our buddy Nord is David for this game. David works the tables most every night, but isn't exactly nice about it.
And that's the end of my character. I'm also from Cuba. That's not related. There's this whole thing. It's his turn.
The character is actually Dolores Delgado, a cocktail waitress, but we decided it'd be better to make Dolores into a gay man. You are Dolores Delgado, a cocktail waitress at Dex's Place. You lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, but 3 years ago your husband ran off, leaving you with 4 kids. You don't have a clue why. He had a good job in your brother's publishing company, and one day he just disappears. Go figure. You moved here about a year ago to start a new life. Being a cocktail waitress is okay. It is hard work and you have to know how to flirt with men and work them for tips. You could not make it on the lousy wages you get working in this dump. You are thinking about going back to school to become a lawyer. Then you can help other women whose no good husbands skip town. Rita Book is a sex therapist and author. You are Dr. Rita Book. You are not a suspect in this murder. I had to say there's no way Rita did it. She's actually the 7th optional character, and her story is that she got to the bar after Dex was killed. You were driving home this evening after conducting a group therapy session. It had been a difficult session and you were all tensed up. You decided to stop at Dex's place for a nightcap and to relax before going home to bed. You walked into the bar just as the lights came back on and Dexter Doyle's dead body was discovered. You have worked with the police in the past to analyze criminally deviant behavior. You have a very good analytical mind. You are using your professional expertise to help unravel this mystery until the homicide squad arrives. You believe all human behavior is based on the sex drive. Our Rita is a girl. Her name's Alicia, I think. Sorry. Martial Arts is a karate school teacher. We were fortunate enough to have our friend Abe come into the party and fill this part. Kind of like at the last second. You are Martial Arts. You own a karate school a few blocks from here called Dojos.
I'm Martial Arts. I've served this country for 20 years and then now teach the...
You served in the Green Berets in Nam from 68 to 75. After Nam, you stayed in the army for another 15 years. You were trained in hand-to-hand combat, explosives, and guerrilla warfare. You became a master at several different martial arts, including karate, karate, taekwondo, kung fu, and jiu-jitsu. You are 44 years old but are in better shape than most men half your age. After retiring from the army, you opened a karate school to teach kids about your self-defense and discipline. You have been coming to Dex's Place a couple of times a week since opening dojos.
Teach the children of American karate.
Don't make fun of the man's name.
The last suspect is Marlena, described as a woman in the shadows. I got to be Marlena because they want the host to play the game too. Your name is Marlena. You have no idea who you really are or where you're from. You have amnesia. 7 months ago, you were in an automobile accident and suffered a serious head injury. You were found lying unconscious beside an overturned Mercedes-Benz on a country road near here. There was a briefcase full of cash in the trunk of the car. The automobile registration was under a false name and there are no legal documents to reveal your identity. It was very strange. The doctors called you Marlena because of your German accent and your resemblance to Marlene Dietrich, the movie star. A few days ago, you were driving by Dex's Place and you had a vision that you had been in there before. You have been sitting in the bar since then hoping someone would recognize you. No one has. Before the first round, I'm going to say that we took a couple of these characters to an exaggerated manner. For instance, my accent is horribly inaccurate and David the waiter is flamboyant. Of course, we do not mean to insult or disrespect any individual demographic, nor do we fully support the stereotypes portrayed in this dinner party game. Since all that is settled, we can now play the mystery.